Well, emotional freedom is a concept. It's also the title of this best-selling book by Dr. Judith Orloff.
Dr. Orloff is here to tell us about emotional freedom and how we can achieve it using some traditional Western medicine combined with intuition and spirituality. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome.
I guess what we need to know is why'd you write this book, Emotional Freedom? Are we all not free now?
I wrote Emotional Freedom because our world is in the midst of a meltdown, and I wanted to give people tools that I use as a psychiatrist and teach my patients on how to deal with fear, how to deal with worry, how to deal with people I call emotional vampires, people who suck you dry so that you're not brought under by them.
How do we recognize these emotional vampires? I love the term, and we all know there are people that we call like, oh, they're so negative. Is that what you're talking about, people like that?
I am. I'm talking about draining people. And how do you know if you're around an emotional vampire? You suddenly get tired and you feel like taking a nap and your eyelids get very heavy. And this is your body's intuition. And what I'm saying in the book is that you have to pay attention to your body's intuition. You have to listen to those signs and signals that your energy is going down around people. And do not marry this kind of person. Do not go into a job with this kind of person. And so I want to teach everyone how to listen to their bodies so they don't interact with emotional vampires and they can have positive people around them.
These emotional vampires themselves, do they know that they're that way, or they just kind of go through life not knowing that they're actually zapping everyone's energy?
Most of them are subconscious and unconscious because they don't understand that what they're doing is draining people. For instance, the chronic complainer, somebody who keeps you on the phone for 2 hours and goes on and on with their life story, and you wanted to be a good friend listening. Now you have to learn how to set limits and boundaries with them. And so I go through strategies in the book on how to do that. For instance, you say, you know, I love you, you're my good friend, but I can only listen if you want to get into solutions. And the way you speak to them is with a very matter-of-fact, even tone, very loving. You don't say, oh, I'm so sick and tired of your complaining, which is what you feel.
That's what you're thinking.
That's what you feel, but you don't want to approach them that way because it won't work.
I imagine that we also could do this to ourselves, though. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the what if or if only kind of thinking. And how do you get yourself out of that?
That's right. Well, there's a quiz in the book, how do you know if you're an emotional vampire? And what you have to do, and I say this compassionately, is you look at yourself. Now you say, am I getting into draining behaviors, or am I draining myself? The negative thoughts in your own head where you start the day saying, oh my God, how am I going to get through this day? And you start working yourself up the first thing in the morning. And so what I'm suggesting is that you, when you wake up, you take a breath, you say something very positive to yourself, and you're grateful for your day, and then start your day from that vantage point, no matter who you meet or what happens.
Is there just too much anxiety in our lives these days? I mean, when we look at our lifestyle today compared to what it was 100 years ago,
yes,
there's a lot of difference there.
Oh, I think we're addicted to anxiety. And there's a whole chapter in the book on how to maintain inner calm and not be anxious and not get addicted to anxiety because people are watching the news all the time, you know. And
that's not a bad thing.
No, it's a great thing, but in terms of the violence and in terms of the negative messages, to not excessively do that and to be around very positive people, you know, and be around very creative things and learn how to self-nurture, you know, rather than just fixating on what makes you anxious, because anxiety can be very addictive, and so you have to learn how to shift out of it. And one of the keys in the book is how do you find inner calm? How do you calm yourself down? Now this is a basic skill I teach my patients. I practice it myself through meditation, through breathing, through the proper thinking, you know, through exercise, through learning how to shift the stress hormones to get the endorphins, the blissful neurochemicals that you want going around in your system. All of these are tools for emotional freedom.
It sounds like it's all connected, the mental well-being, the physical, spiritual, what you're eating, exercising.
It is. As a psychiatrist, I combine mind, body, spirit, and intuition. I don't just teach traditional medicine, but I combine many other modalities to help patients so they know they can have all the options in the world. Now, more options than just traditional psychiatry says.
Electronics contributing to our hectic lifestyle these days?
I think so. There's a term in the book I use called techno despair, and this is the kind of despair that comes from technology and information overload and being on the computer too much and just getting inundated. And so it's important to learn how to find emotional freedom, calm yourself down, take the breaks from the computers. Now go out, get some fresh air, meditate, exercise, think positive thoughts, but don't stay glued to that computer. That will drain your energy.
All right, the book is Emotional Freedom. You have a book signing coming up. It's
I do.
next Sunday, May 15th from 11 to 2, and that's at the House of Return Recovery Center. The address is 8831 Venice Boulevard there in Culver City.
For more information about Judith Orloff and her book and the book signing event, just go to kcal9.com and click on Seen on TV. We have the information there.
All right, we're going to take a deep breath and say thank you for being here.